Welcome out, gamers and gamettes, to this RGLgg Invite Highlander Week 2 match on PL Upward F8, taking place between Kynareth's new disciples, or K&D as we like to call them, and new Invite team, The Fog. I am Alto, joined by Zag to my side. Dolphin behind the camera as always. Zag, how you doing tonight?
Doing good on this wonderful Monday evening in summer. It's just getting around to being really hot outside, and we'll see if these teams can bring the heat on Upward tonight. I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry. But yeah, K&D, kind of as new disciples, and the Fog, both of them are 1-0 coming into this match. We did see last week on cast we had K&D versus 4500. It was a very, very good match, 4-3 on product, and that really set us up for a competitive top of invite. And the Fog, they have a ton of experienced players. They just haven't been all on a team before. But from what we've been told from our inside sources, they've actually been very good in scrims.
Yeah, hearing that they may even be positioned to potentially take the 1 seed here during this regular season. So it means that we thought last week would be the battle for the 1 seed, but it might not be over just yet because the Fog versus K&D here is also going to have an impact. And then also, anytime you have a top 3, the Fog versus 4500 whenever they
We're
play.
looking for the rock, paper, scissors.
Exactly, yeah. So maybe we'll have a trifecta sitting at 6-1 at the end of the season. But before we get into that, we have to go into our match today. So Zag, do you want to run down the rosters real quick?
Sure thing. On Kynareth's new disciples, we're going to be having Blank on Scout, Etney on Soldier, Zukima on Pyro, Jarrett on Demo Man, Honesty on Heavy, Scratchy on Engineer, Blake on Medic, Space Ghost Coffee on Sniper, and Demento on Spy.
And on the side of the Fog, creeping in is Ether on Scout, Rain on Soldier, Melon on Pyro, Exile on Demo Man, Supreme Toad, formerly known as Marty, on Heavy, Carson on Engineer, Toy on Medic, Mujet on Sniper, and Fish on Spy.
Yeah, and as I mentioned in the lead-in, the Fog has a bunch of players that are very experienced in Invite. A lot of them have won championships or placed highly before. Rain, Melon, Exile, Marty, Supreme Toad, Carson, Toy, Mujet, Fish are all familiar names. Ether, I'm sure a lot of you know as well. But they haven't been on a team together. And from what we've seen early on, that last week we saw them crush Run It Back, which is not a surprise. Run It Back is not exactly going to be contending at the top of the table. So all we have to go off of is what they've done in scrims, and apparently they are very strong. We've heard good things about Fish. We've heard good things about Exile Melon as a combo together. And it's just going to be interesting to see how this team stacks up now that we're into the season and they're fighting some big dogs.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting that you look at this roster and you go, okay, invite mainstay, go down the list. Toy hasn't played for a couple seasons, I don't think, but, was easily high invite last time they had played. And then you see Mujet and Fish down at the bottom, which both of them, I believe, made their invite debut last season, or was that 2 seasons for Amigos? I think it was 2 seasons, actually, that they had. But they were, they were not high invite by any means. They were sitting around the 2-3 win mark, having some close games, definitely, but not really showing up to contend for playoffs. And you see this roster full of invite mainstays again, but with these 2 fresh faces on it, and it's exciting to me to see some new blood kind of break in. You always like to see whenever a whole team can do that, similar to what Yi did a few seasons ago. But anytime you see someone amongst the kind of musical chairs of some invite Highlander players get broken up, it's always refreshing to see.
Yeah, and in case we didn't mention, the map tonight is PL Upward, so first stopwatch of the season. It's going to be an interesting one, whereas last week we had Koth. We're going to get to see how these teams play on, a bit more structured, less chaotic map to play. And one of the things I'm looking at is, although pick classes are less important on payload than Koth in terms of how many kills you can get, I really want to zoom in on the Space Ghost versus Mujet matchup. We've heard that Mujet is dominating with his Brazilian ping, able to just win out SVS, pick out everyone at any point. And last week, we did not have a very good showing from Space Ghost, to say it, nicely, where he kind of just got demolished by his opposition on product. Maybe he'll try to avoid SVS like he always does, because Mujet is a very big threat from what we're hearing. And if Mujet can end up taking over the game, we may see the Fog be able to have a lot of advantages to work with.
Definitely, and I'm a little bit more concerned for Space Ghost, especially last week. I don't think it's entirely fair to say he got completely demolished. The one area where he was really shut down was the SVS. I believe it was 23-4 in favor of Nixie, which is a very lopsided score. And on Koth, the thing is, though, is that you can still win with that, and KND did, because especially on product, you have more than enough other classes that are capable of killing the sniper. On upward, sometimes though, it feels like you may be more forced to lean into that SVS, and if Space can't shake off some of that rust and, come up with a few key counter snipes here, I think it's going to spell a lot of trouble for KND right off the bat.
Yeah, me and Alto know firsthand how hard that can get when you have Prime Andrew staring you down on upward first, killing you every time you walk out of the spawn gate. And if Mujet can pop off that hard and Space Ghost can't respond, you have to imagine that Candy are going to have to throw some desperate measures his way to kind of break free of those chains. But yeah, with predictions on the screen for you guys right now, a lot of people favoring Candy makes sense because a lot of people aren't familiar with the Fog yet. This is their first debut on stream as a team, so we'll end up seeing their power level tonight, which is very exciting.
Yeah, something I want to bring up, Zach. Maybe spark a little heat in chat. What are your thoughts on RGL starting off the season with the two worst maps in the rotation?
Ooh, I mean, if we're gonna get them out of the way, get them out of the way earlier. It's kind of a shame that in the rock paper scissors of top three, they're playing on two of them. But product is a mainstay. I'm sure these teams will want to try and play. Candy probably won't want to try to play product in playoffs, but Fog and 4500 probably will. So I think it makes sense. But we are going to be getting some really good maps towards the end of the season, and all of you in chat. Yeah, we don't like Upward. We don't like Product that much. We think they're some of the worst maps in the active rotation. You can do with that what you will. Flame us, do whatever. But yeah, either way, these two are staple maps. Everyone knows them. So the familiarity is going to come in handy here tonight for these teams, especially the Fog, who, when you're a new team coming together, the experience on a map for 10 years playing it will help you out a lot.
I think something too interesting you said that I don't think we've ever really talked about too much before is that we're playing both of these maps early and how that impacts playoffs, because I feel like a lot of the times, maybe this is just like confirmation bias, but I feel like we've been seeing Vigil early in the season a lot recently, and that's always led to something interesting because Vigil is arguably the newest mainstay map in the rotation. You could argue maybe Cascade. I'm not actually sure which one came first. I think Cascade was first.
Cascade was first.
Vigil
went
got
through more changes.
Settled sooner.
Yeah,
I guess.
Cascade had more changes.
And the thing with that though is that every time you pick it in playoffs, especially the first week, it's always kind of a gamble because most teams hadn't played it since week 1 or 2, so you just don't have that familiarity. Any teams that have made roster changes or structural changes to main calling or just improved over the season, you don't know how those changes are going to take over. Whereas I think like last season we played Upward and Product in the last 2 weeks, or 2 out of the last 3, means that you have these already staple maps. Teams are coming in very well in practice. So seeing Upward and Product this early means that you're going to have a little bit more variance on them in the playoffs, which I don't really know where I'm going with that, but I think it's something interesting to keep in mind.
Yeah, definitely something to look forward to towards the end of the season when we're trying to solidify the seeds. Because when you do have a rock, paper, scissors of 3 teams in high invite, that seeding actually matters, because getting first seed means that you have a very, very easy matchup against, a 4th seed team who is admittedly a level below the top 3, and you basically are cruising to a semifinals berth already. Or I guess upper bracket finals berth already. Whereas if you're a 2-3 seed, you're going to have hard matches all the way through.
Yeah, and if you get 1 seed, you're pretty much guaranteed to have map ad, which can always be so important coming through, later in the season, just being able to control whether or not you want that double stopwatch or get rid of it, or, just play to your strengths. And obviously the first seed's always a good thing, but again, when you have that rock, paper, scissors, it matters even more when, you have a 3rd seed that could potentially take you out.
Yeah, but for now, we should zoom in on this matchup a little bit more. We do have 17 in server. We're 2 minutes before the normal Highlander start time of 15 minutes late, so just waiting on one more player. I want to talk about a matchup I think is really important to look at tonight on Upward specifically, and that's Zukima versus Melon on Pyro.
You knew exactly what I was going for.
Yeah. Pyro on Upward is very, very important because so many Uber exchanges will be determined by how your Pyro positions and how they do their air blasts. And we know that Zukima, he can do it. He's been one of the best Pyros in Highlander history, one of the most consistent Pyros when he has chosen to play the class. Melon has been, a mid-high invite mainstay for quite a while, but she's never really broken the barrier to be considered one of the best Pyros in the game, I would say. And with her being on this team now, it feels like they have a lot of strength from what we've heard in scrims, and Melon definitely can get it done when put in the right position, but I want to see how she's going to match up against Zukima, because it's going to be very important in these fights.
Yeah, when I think back to Season 17 Platinum, my first time playing with Zuki, and where he was our main heal sync with our flank demo man, don't ask about it. All of my memories of him come on Upward. Him doing crazy things on third and on second too. So I'm excited to see him play on this map, and I'm excited to see K&D play on Upward too, because even though the rosters have kind of swapped out, I think Upward's probably always been my least favorite map to play any version of K&D on, because their ability to just play together, to be like more than the sum of their parts, to take a couple players that maybe could be seen as potential weaknesses and just kind of blob around them, and even, spread everything out and go for those really aggressive holds on second. So then it's always really been interesting to see. And if they can do that, I think or I should say, they're going to need to do that, because the way that I'm seeing this match, I'll throw my pred out. I'm going to go 2-0 the Fog here. And I think both rounds are going to be very close. But I've got recency bias. I can't see Space Ghost, after last week's performance, matching up with Mujet over a long match, and I think that's going to be the difference maker.
All right, and with that, we are into the first round of Upward Week 2 matchup. K&D and the Fog getting it going. We're going to be having the Fog starting out on red side for defense. K&D going to be pushing. Looks like we did have the predictions going in chat. People think they're going to hit about an 8:24 K&D on their offense. That's about average Upward time. It's not blazing fast, but not also terribly slow. So a lot of people kind of tentative, and it's early in the season, so that's pretty fair.
Yeah, something else I want to take a look at too, real quick, is the Exile versus Jarrett matchup, because last week when Candy dropped their rounds to 4,500, almost all the rounds they dropped felt like they were keyed off of Jarrett dying very frequently. And on that cast, you mentioned he was playing like Exile. Or he was reminiscent of Exile. I don't remember the exact words.
Bit of jokes, but yeah.
But I do think keeping track of the demo uptime is going to be something to really look out for here. And if one demo kind of gets on a bad spiral early, that might just spin a half the wrong way.
Yep, Blank first casualty of the match got taken down by Exile's Sticky Trap. No times two from the scout on the cart will cost them a second. Tisk K&D, but with that they're going to be moving that cart to that first major choke point. And then we're going to have heavy forward. It looks like they don't want to have their medic out of spawn. I see Sticky's down for Jarrett. He's going to jump here with Etney doing a double bomb over the top. We'll see where this lands. On top of Playground, they're trying to focus down a heavy, and they do manage to pick off, or excuse me, they get to pick off Mujet, but the rest of the players are going to go down on that sack. And they do force the Uber. Great job by K&D.
More importantly, Caster's blessing, I guess. SGC takes out Mujet on the SVS there with a body shot. So no buff because of the Ubers. Takes advantage of that. Wins the SVS here, which could be really big because Jacob going back to spawn right now.
He got the telly already.
He got the telly, so Mujet's going to be locked out here unless he can kill Jacob.
Yeah, Mujet's going to be getting spawn camped by Jacob here, which means there's no sniper. K&D are going to look to walk forward with this, and they pop Uber through the tracks they're going through. There is no counter Uber, keep in mind, so they're going to focus down Melon. Goes down early. Pyro giving up her life for that one is the normal, but the sentry gun doesn't actually go down quite yet. Now it finally will. Mujet and Toy have gone down. It looks like there's been a lot of kills from Space Ghost. Space Ghost finding that medic pick on the back out, and so far Space Ghost having a great first point, thanks in part to Jacob doing tons of distraction, and Jacob's still going. He's trying to revolver people down, chasing down the remnants of the defense, and K&D with a very, very clean first setup.
Space Ghost, my man, I never doubted him. As Jacob went in, beat the initial stab onto Mujet, but then just stalked him across hill and took him down. Yeah, with that Enforcer. So Honesty aggro in the window right now. Jarrett playing around the corner with help. Blank and Etney pushing that times 3 through cart. Second, barely going to be a hold here at all unless someone.
They're going to try.
Big.
They're recontesting through tracks.
This is really big.
Yeah, they're pushing through tracks, but there's Jacob in the backline, takes down Mujet and gets out alive for now. And he's a big distraction. Ether now going to go down on the front lines to Honesty, and that banner repush just got delayed by the spy and by the players moving forward. And with that, K&D get 2 in 2, and Space Ghost still going ham. Another pickoff onto the defensive engineer. He has a 20-second spawn timer.
I think he's 3-0, 4-0 right now, I want to say. Maybe 4-1. Might have died back on first, didn't see, but he's been having some really good games. Mujet has not been able to get settled in at all.
Yeah, Jacob
has made sure
twice.
of that.
Yeah. And now we're going to see K&D push up this cart, upward third, a pretty slow point in comparison to the rest of them. You just kind of have to push the cart up multiple hills in a row as Uber charge is had by both teams. K&D aren't going to want to go until this cart is a bit further up as far as they can get it. And it looks like some good stickies from Exile. Going to take down, going to shut down at Space Ghost and Etney. Meanwhile, Uber trade out on the front line here. Nothing going on too much in this one. They're just going to back off once they got that Uber force. Cart makes it to the first hill.
I thought they weren't going to actually pop there. They got a couple picks ahead of time. Exile found a couple of stragglers as the Uber went off, and if they were able to hold that Uber, that would have put them in a great spot, but felt a little too much pressure. So Toy actually doing some good building. Despite that late use, he's only 3% behind Blake right now.
Yeah, he's going to move ahead in just a second.
You would have expected 10 to 15% or so.
Jacob tapping the cart so it doesn't move back, and now Mujet finally able to get set up, takes down Etney. Not sure what secondary Etney was running. I think it was Gunboat, so no banner going to be coming in for the offense here, which is normal. Mujet taking a very aggressive angle on Bucket here. He gets lit on fire. Meanwhile, Melon will go down to that Cleaver, so that's an opening pick, and onto the defensive Pyro, no less.
Yeah, he just hit another Cleaver onto Mujet, actually. That's going to force him back. Make him sit on that dispenser. They're going to start getting card up the second hill. Yeah, playing off the Toys on to Toys team. We're both very punny tonight, as they do get the card up the second hill. Zuki keeping it going. The Fog is nowhere to be found. They're going to use in here, and Zuki doing his best to try to reflect things off the cart. Not going to land him, though, yeah. Him and Scratchy both go down, but there is still pretty good presence coming out from the Fog right there.
But in the backline, Fish takes out Blake with a backstab. There is a numbers advantage for Candy.
Jacob's going to cap, though.
Yeah, they're going to try to full stack on cart. Jacob cloaks up to keep his life. He will now decloak, and with that sentry gun going down to Jarrett's pipe, Blank on a 5k, K&D are going to be able to cap this up even without their medic. So with that, now they've capped up 3 points in 4 minutes. They're in a very good position to have a blazing upward time. They just need to build this Uber up.
Yeah, it's just too little pressure coming out of the Fog. They needed to be out forward before that Uber went off. They gave up way too much card time, way too much space, where even though Fish managed to get that kill, they're not able to play off of it because they don't have the ground to.
Yeah, but now Candy moving up into tiles. This time Mujet comes out ahead in the SVS. Space Ghost was not buffed before he took that one, and Jarrett, he's going to feel the wrath of Mujet. They're going to have to move back downwards. Demento, though, will get that crucial pick. Now the sniper disad is evened out.
The block was bad.
Oh, was it? That's unfortunate. You never have engineers mess that up anymore, but they will. And Demento going to decloak and find another one onto Exile. Somehow he kills the sniper, gets out alive, and then kills the Demo Man. Now the Fog, they're only 4 up.
Yeah, K&D trying to just steamroll right in here. Supreme Toad up in that top left area. Knows he's going to try to have to get something done, but he's getting spammed and pinned down.
Uber's out.
He will eventually go down. Yeah, Uber comes out, though. It's going to be onto the Engineer and the Soldier. Only people up. Carson drops into lower, trying to kill Jarrett. Is he going to take him out? He does. Gets him with the shotgun, and they've managed to stall this cart long enough. Blake and Honesty have Uber at spawn. Jacob gets the stab onto Exile, and there finally Etney on cart, who's going to be forced to jump off of it. That is
Demento 2k.
Top. Yeah, that's 4 kills he's gotten right around the spawn area.
Another second. The cart air blast from Melon puts 2 into the pit. That's huge, and the cart has not gone in quite yet. Only 3 up now, but they're getting cleaned up super quickly. Demento and Jarrett and Honesty double up on some kills. Now cart getting sacked once again, and there's going to be Blake pushing it over the final edge. That's 4 points in 5:43. Blazing time from K&D there. That chaotic last fight ended up going in their favor, but there was some interesting stuff going on.
It's not that the new Upward got rid of the dispenser block, right? Because I'm pretty sure that it didn't. But
well, if it did, then it feels like there needs to be some research done on the Fog side. It doesn't look like it did. I've been blocked by that many a time, and the corridor feels exactly the same width right now when I'm looking at it. I think it was just missed.
So it must have just been a miss, and yeah, that may have honestly been the biggest difference maker there, because with those kills that Moonjump started to ramp up there, if you let him settle in and get hot, they're probably still holding that, but Jacob gets up, he doesn't think he needs to spy check because the dispenser blocks up, gets stabbed, and then Jacob managing
and he doubles up onto Exile.
You can't let that happen.
That should never happen, yeah.
You already know he's up there. You know he's up there. He's not going to drop out, and even if he does, he can get right back up.
He's going to go back up, yeah.
Because if he got up once, he's going to get up again.
Yeah, but either way, great play there from all the playmakers of K&D. We saw Jacob and Space Ghost have a phenomenal half. We saw the combo working on all cylinders there, and yeah, that was just a really great offense from K&D, showing up strong on Upward, and now they only have to hold this for sub 6 minutes to win the first round.
Yeah, really glad I predicted 2-0 for K&D here.
Yeah, really glad you were hyping up Space Ghost from minute 1.
Yeah. As, well, I mean, if I said he was going to do well, then he definitely would.
Yeah, that's definitely true. So
it's a control.
You should be thanking you.
Yeah, exactly.
Right now, with the low time, the Fog have their medic out already. They're going to fast trade because they don't have enough time trying to go out, and Mujet does win the SVS early onto Space Ghost. So now, sniper advantage for the offense. Uber trade doesn't even get Blake's Uber out, though. Now they're finally going to pop in retaliation and try to chase down some kills here, K&D. They are going onto the Fist Heavy, and they do pick off Marty, Supreme Toad, but that's the only kill they get, and now big advantage in favor of the Fog.
That's a very K&D play, because chasing those kills out feels like it should be the right move, but I feel like if something goes wrong, they're going to wish they had that Uber right now. They really didn't get enough with it to justify the use. But
good Sicky. Takes down Rain and puts Mujet to 1 HP. Mujet needs an arrow now before he can peek again. Fish goes in, he gets the kill onto Space Ghost, but gets taken out by the gun. Mujet is unleashed though, he's going to pick off Zukima, and with no Pyro, Spam is going to be free here. Mujet finally will go down to Demento, that's a very important pick, but Candy now have to hold with only 6 players. They do have the Sentry Gun up from scratch though, he's repairing that thing to full.
Yeah,
banner out.
The banner's really big coming out from Endy there. Almost dies, but it looks like we're going to have a pause.
Amazing. Pause, minute and a half into the future, keep that in mind. But in this area right now, we see both meds going to be up on Uber soon. Blake did build. Did he build significantly better than Toy? Because their Uber was a lot later. Remember, they counter-Ubered late. How does Blake have advantage here?
Probably them scattering after the Uber means that Toy probably didn't heal anyone for a while, or was just healing the same person. Whereas Blake's likely been able to build better because he's been spreading heals across people that are actually getting injured, would be my guess.
Fish probably needs to call that out, because if you are the Fog here and you know Candy late used into you, you're assuming you have advantage, but they don't here. So if the Fog don't know this, they could put themselves in a really bad situation here on account of this banner. They might be looking to like pop as soon as the banner ends and they can get players, but either way, we'll have to see what happens here, as Toy only on 76%.
Something else that I think is really big there is that Fish actually got caught out by Blank before that first Uber, but Eddie's going to go down right as the pause comes out.
Yeah, he had a pipe over the top of the hill, so the banner is now no more. Uber up for K&D here. Blake should try and mask this, but looks like he does not mask it now 100% for Toy. Toy eats a pipe, and they have to pop first. Zukima now is in there with the counter Uber and denies it in its entirety. Late flashes coming in just to get players out for the Fog here, but they need some kills. Exile, he's trying his best to do damage on the front line here. He's dodging damage too. Exile doing a great job dancing around the hill, but he's gonna get a pipe onto Zukima. Fade away. Fish not able to sap the gun, I don't think, and because of that, the gun is still up and Uber didn't get it.
Yeah, this fact that Fish has not been able to actually get in on the gun here means that Scratchy's been pretty much uncontested. Not enough sightlines, not enough pressure coming in from Mujet, I guess, as Etten playing close in this corner. Not really been forced out yet. Probably close to another banner, if not having it already. Yeah, Mujet just keeps eating, 80 damage from every time he tries to walk up there.
Okay, Fish is here. He's going to try and go for something. We need Fish to actually get something here, whether it's a gun sap or a teleporter pick. He has not had any impact on this offense so far. We're going to see him go for the decloak. He's walking and he gets the stab onto Scratchy and the sap. That is what we needed from Fish here for the Fog to keep going. Oh, Zuki is on the mall, so the Sapper gets removed from it, but with Mujet winning another SBS onto Space Ghost, the gates should be open for the Fog. Candy gonna aggressive Uber into the offense here, and they do pick up a kill onto Rain and Ether, and with that now counter Uber in for the Fog, and Toy gonna be Exile getting the bulk of this one, and with that no Engineer, Sapper re-put onto it. Gun should go down in just a second. Mujet and Fish do go down, but the offense has enough here to get first capped up.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure my clock's right, though. They only have 245 at
Yeah,
this
245.
Point. That's physically possible, but not very
It's hard.
likely.
You have to one-shot a lot of your pushes, and if you're the Fog here, you need to keep going. You need to get aggressive. We know K&D, they're famous for these hill holds on upward. If you can't break this hill hold, you're not going to be getting past second. And we already see Space Ghost posted up on top of a rock with a full buff.
Yeah, but they know they just need to go right now.
Fish going for Space Ghost, he finds it.
That's going to be the best opening pick you can ask for. Dispenser goes down, a little less health. Honesty gets forced out of tunnel, which is going to find him too. These are exactly the type of snowball, and Exile finds Blake with the pipes over the hill right before the banner from Eddie comes out.
Their health is terrible.
All the kills are going over in favor of the Fog. But they've only got wipes. That's a full wipe. STC's up no one else for 9 seconds.
Yeah, he needs to stay in spawn and just back spawn, but that point got snowballed on perfectly by the Fog. That opening pick by Fish onto Space Ghost was crucial, and after that he followed, we saw Mujet follow up onto Honesty, so with that, the Fog capped this up and they have full Uber ad. This one is not over yet, as we see Fog aggressively pushing into their opponent's drop down.
Yeah, Honesty near it, but Candy knows it's going to be camped. They don't even attempt.
Space Ghost dead again, and Blank!
Blank can't let that happen. You just saw Space get stabbed, and I think he just got mad at her, or just really wasn't aware, but 2 down already. Blake's gonna go in again. Rain sneaks up and find him. Jared and Zuki too. This might be a miracle push coming together from the Fog. They've got ×3 on Cartwright here. I think it's just barely possible. If this thing slows down at all, it's not gonna be possible. And I'm a little bit concerned that they haven't gotten further up, but they can't with this drop down open.
Yeah, they have to
But
keep holding the drop down. Keep in mind, Toy still has full Uber, and Blake hasn't been able to charge at all. So the Fog are going to have still a massive advantage to go forward into last. Demento is going for a big play onto Card. He wants to get a pick, and he picks Ether. That's actually crucial because with no scout, you're not times 3ing it. And now we see Jarrett soloing out onto the cart. He's trying to stop it, and he does get the engineer with the help of Carson K&D. A late repush, and there's the Uber getting forced out. That was an amazing play by K&D. They don't give up anything. They don't have to, and they're going to win this round.
yeah, Ether really can't let himself get stabbed there. That's like when you're trying to do something like this, Toy just absolutely styles on Blake.
6 kill for Toy, but it does not matter.
Yeah, you might be the most important player right there in that moment, is the scout on card. You have nothing else to do but spy check.
Yeah, besides keep your life. All you have to do is keep your life there if you are Ether, and his death there means that Jarrett gets to run out on cart for free. Imagine if Ether isn't dead there, he can just kill Jarrett. It's a demo man running out there, no Uber, he dies.
Yeah, they got the cart in, into the in through main. If they had another 10-15 seconds,
Yeah, that was winnable. And their
That's
Uber
winnable,
too.
yeah,
Like, if Jarrett
exactly.
doesn't get the kills on cart, and then with the help of Carson, then they keep their Uber, they get the cap, and all of a sudden Candy are in big trouble, but just a lapse from the Fog, a lapse in concentration, and K&D take full advantage. That's the thing about K&D, right? Even though they're not a perfect team, even though you see mistakes come out, sometimes you see gameplay that is not, up to the K&D standard. They always know what they have to do to win, and they will do it. And 1-0 for K&D. We have the logs on your screen right now. Exile doing big damage. Getting a lot of cleanup kills as well. We do see, okay, Blank has 300 DPM, 9 kills. Ether has 100 DPM. That is just a massive difference.
Ether also got tied in frags by both medics, which is
yeah,
not a real stat. But
it's 2 kills on payload scout. That can be understandable sometimes if you just aren't getting the cleanup. We saw Exile get a lot of the kills too, right? So maybe he's just getting the last hits, but Ether's not doing damage. He wasn't paying attention when he needed to, and that was just a very lackluster half from him.
Mujet definitely though showed up after those initial kind of snipes right there, where the SVS was still 4-1, but Mujet had 7 dots and 6 of them were to Jacob. So after he
6 to Jacob. He lost one SVS that only died to Spy.
And then only died to Spy.
That's funny. Yeah, Mujet, he had a very, very good half. We gave Space Ghost props where he deserved it, but in the end, Mujet's just the stronger sniper right now, and few people would probably disagree with that upon knowing their performance, right? But Demento made up for it a lot with his contributions. Demento had a phenomenal half there. Fish, he got picks when, it was crucial for his team. We saw him get the engineer stab on first, the medic, the sniper pick on second, but Demento just put in so much work to help his team out.
Do you remember when Jacob got the engineer pick? Because he has 11 kills, 6 on sniper, which is always a good kill, 3 on demo man, always a good kill, 1 on the scout at the
very end.
I've never seen a better scout pick on payload, I don't think.
Excellent, yeah.
And do we know if the engineer was a defense engineer? Because if it was an offense engineer, then I don't really care about it.
Yeah, Demento is king at high-value frags. He always bides his time and knows what he needs to do to help his team win, and all of his frags there were so crucial to the team coming out ahead. Something as well I want to point out is Etney, he may not have very many kills, he may have, almost top-deathing his team. He's doing 330 DPM on Upward, and he's building banners up a lot, which is very crucial to Candy's success. We know Candy Etney, not the Etney we saw last season, right? But Candy Etney is not like the playmaking player who's going to win you the game with his kills. He's the guy who will build his banner, play what the team needs him to, and always have tons of game impact. And he's doing that perfectly here.
There really should be a stat in logs for banners, I feel.
Yeah, the game is 15 years old. Deal with it.
Yes. Because they're so important at so many times.
They're basically like mini Ubers, right? But with how much space they allow your team to take, the damage reduction is so important. Not being able to get a headshot. You could
argue there are times where they're just as good because an Uber can only protect one person at a time. I mean, you can flash really quickly, but
yeah, they're definitely an important aspect of the game that soldiers in recent years have been coming around to. The thought that, okay, well, if I can buff 9 players up with banner, it's just better than me jumping in and doing 400 damage. So yeah, and Etney was the OG at that. So very, very impressive performance. And other than that, there's not really too much to note. Like in the end, right? We saw a sub 6 minute push from K&D. The Fog were very, very hard pressed to make up for that. They very nearly did. We saw a very, very impressive first into second snowball where they full aced K&D. I could count on one hand the amount of times I've seen K&D get full ace defending upward second, right? In 5 years of watching them play.
Probably one, and that was it.
Just now,
I
yeah.
can count on one hand probably the number of times I've seen them get ace, period. It feels like, because they've got such a solid grasp of the fundamentals that they're never actually going to full white. Might have happened on a COD map. On like a med goes down,
that's not nearly as
sack
important as the fact that they
type
just
of thing.
all died
Yeah.
on payload second.
So we see what the Fog can do when they're rolling. When Mujet is staying alive, honestly feels like kind of the biggest key there. When he's not getting chain stabbed by Jacob, he's absolutely dominating people right now.
Yeah, and I think switching over to offense first here in the second half is going to be a major upgrade for the Fog, because we just saw what they can do on offense. On defense, they just didn't have a very good start. We saw, Mujet get spawn camped. A lot of good plays happen for K&D. Being able to set their own pace, I feel like will be a good thing for the Fog here.
I really wish I don't know if he did. I doubt it. I wish Dolphin had the camera on Jacob when he was trying to spawn camp Mujet when
Yeah, the Uber is coming through at the same time. But that's the important part, right? Is that Jacob is doing that while the Uber is coming through.
No, what's great though is he was hiding on like the balcony, right, where the defense sniper stands on second, went to go drop stab him. Mujet predicted it and juggled him with a melee, but then Jacob cloaked in midair and Mujet couldn't predict where he landed, so he just gave up on it. Started walking across hill. Jacob ran directly behind him, deflected 2-shot with the enforcer.
Yeah, that's the thing where like in Highlander, if you are the spy, you know what the play is, and if you're the sniper getting spawn camped, you know what the play is, right? In all honesty, what should happen there is someone should probably try to go back and just escort Mujet forward because the teleporter's down. But either way, if you're Mujet, you know that's going to happen. You just have to try your best, but Jacob just outplaying in the end, even though he kind of got surprised by Mujet's awareness. And we're going to be re-execing here in just a second, so this countdown is fake, apparently. Gonna be waiting just a couple more seconds to get this one started. But yeah, now with the Fog on offense, I really want to see if they're going to be able to snowball this one like they did last round, because like we mentioned on payload, whenever you're trying to catch up to a fast time, you have a little more pep in your step. The urgency is there where you're making more aggressive plays, you're making pushes you wouldn't normally do. I want to see if they're able to keep up that same level of aggression knowing they're setting the pace.
Yeah, and granted though, if they're not setting their own pace, I feel like they don't actually have that mistake on third. Like
yeah, and it also matters less, right? Because K&D probably don't desperation sack out with all their players, right?
Exactly, yeah. So, it
changes everything.
Blake just dropped. Pre-game, but still.
That one doesn't go in the logs. Did we see any drops in the first half? I don't think so.
No, Toy only died once. Blake only died 3 times, I'm pretty sure. And most of them were like post-Uber situations. Actually, it was... No, I don't think there was a drop.
Blake died on second defense when they full wiped, on fourth defense when he got killed in the back by
Blake had
Soldier.
One near full charge death, which I bet was on second. When he got piped there, he was probably in like 95.
Yeah, that sounds about right. And then he had the one death defending fourth. I don't know when the third death was, but it might have been offense. I'm not sure. You can tell from the logs, actually, because it tracks medic deaths.
Yeah, Blake got stabbed when they were pushing third.
Yeah, I remember that. But both medics have actually been playing pretty well.
Toy died before first got capped in the first round and then just didn't die for the rest of it.
Yeah, they lost the game without him dying.
I mean, you could argue that's part of the reason why they got snowballed through second as they did, but yeah, I mean, still, good performance, though.
We do have word the game is going to be live in about 30 seconds. Although, you predicted the 2-0 for the Fog. We just saw K&D taking the 1-0. Do you think the Fog have something left? Do you think they're going to be able to take a round back?
I mean, I predicted 2-0, of course I do. Like, we saw what happened there, right? And if I'm the Fog, I'm thinking... When my sniper was permanently dead, we lost. How do I fix that?
Alright, so you see the solutions here for the Fog. We're hoping they see them too, and we're hoping they're going to be able to put up a fight here. Going all 3 rounds would be very nice here, especially because, like we mentioned, these are 2 top invite teams who very much have a stake in first seed at the very end of the season. So, Fog, they got to come up with the solutions, and they got to put them in action here as we're set to get started. Round 2 of Upward.
Yep, in setup time, so we'll see what happens again here, since...
I want Dolphin to put the camera on Scratchy. I'm sure he does, but like, it's interesting to watch Scratchy's Eureka effect roll out, because a lot of engineers coming up may not know about like the exact things you do when you're Eureka effect setting up. It's the thing where you go back to spawn, you teleport back. There's a bunch of stuff you can do. Yeah, we do see Scratchy making this defensive setup. Other than that, everything looks pretty normal. Both meds on Uber. No one does the Vaccinator charging and spawn to buff stats anymore.
Man, I feel like I invented that. Probably didn't, but felt like it. But, yeah, needed to demoralize the enemy team by being higher up on the scoreboard. I like how Jacob and Fish are agreeing to a peaceful protest, where they'll both just cloak and dagger on last while the rest of the teams play, which, if I'm the Fog, I take that in a heartbeat. I do not want Jacob playing against my team.
And Jacob has had tons of impact so far. We'll see if he can keep having that same level of impact going forward into the second half as the gates are about to drop. And here we go. We'll see what the Fog have on this offense.
And I mean, I mentioned that as a joke, right? But legitimately, I think shutting down Jacob is probably one of the biggest keys to the Fog winning this, because he's the main reason Mujet's dying. So,
Yep.
you know, you follow that out, and if Jacob goes down, Mujet stays alive. Probably doing good. As here we see Exile going in for the sack.
Bomb in.
Fish
They have
caught
Space
on
Ghost.
but SGC dies to the sack. Don't want to lose your sniper on that. Everyone else also dies, but you get the sniper. That's not a problem. However, the telly is still up.
Here's the problem with what Fish is doing there. If the plan is to sack in and go for the sniper instead of the medic, why are you as the spy also going for the sniper? Your team will get him if anyone. So you should be going for the telly. We see Space Ghost is already back and be scoping up Playground. Now we're going to see the offense here. The Fog walk out of spawn. Jacob is calling their every move, so they know when this is coming over the hill. Going to be able to pop Uber in just a second, as SVS might pop off here first, but here comes the Ubers.
If Jacob decloaks, he's going to start walking up. But yeah, Uber's already off. Not too much going to be gained. Looks like Melon will escape out through main. Jacob with that revolver. Probably Fish gets the counter stab. He does. Runs up and takes him out on the respawn.
That's how you shut down Jacob, apparently. And the Space Ghost is going to shut down Mujet in return. So now Heavy, Supreme Toad trying to jump up top, but gets spotted out there by Honesty. And Honesty looks up and shreds Rain. Great playground holding from that defensive Heavy.
Yeah, we saw Supreme Toad get up on the playground as well, but is forced down immediately, and we'll go down to Jared, and then he's spamming him out with those explosives. SGC, after that initial death, has been standing really tall.
Fish!
They got a ton of pressure, but Fish finds Blank and Jared. Scout and Demo, two really big kills right there. No Demo especially.
Space Ghost,
but
what a pick.
SGC, yep, evens it out. That's exactly what they needed right now. Mujet, though, found Scratchy, so no one to protect that gun. Should get spammed out eventually. Zuki's going to try to play on it and stall
Space
anything
Ghost
that
is
goes
still
on.
here, though. He takes down Mujet, and he's scoping up on left side. Without the sniper down, it's so hard to crest over the hill. He hits another headshot. That one's onto Melon, I think. So now they have to back up and get some kills. Melon's going to be going back to spawn, and it's just Exile out here. Still a sniper staring. They're going to have to pop Uber immediately. They're going to go in, but Zuki gets an immediate counter Uber and blasts Exile back into his side of the map. So with that Kanky, they're 9 alive. Uber's going to end, and there's Space Ghost still going wild on Playground.
Scratchy died for 20 seconds and his gun didn't take damage.
Yeah, because Space Ghost is holding them down.
Zuki was waiting to reflect things that never came. And I think this right here is the textbook example of why you should just go for the telly as a spy.
Yeah, if you're the spy, you really need to go for that telly, because if it's just up, any picks you get, they're just so much less valuable. This time, though, Mujet gonna even up the SVS and take the pick onto Space Ghost, so now the Fog, a bit unchained here, gonna walk forward, and they get Demento as well, so no pick classes to worry about. Their health is terrible,
hit up
though.
very low, yeah. So much damage coming out from the spam classes of K and E right here. Zuki gonna maul that Sapper again. Fish seems like he might have been forced to go in there.
Yeah, Zuki gets punished for that,
Mujet
though.
finds Jared, though. That's another big pick. Zuki dead as well.
And they're gonna go down. Oh, look, Blake walked into a mini sentry. He's 1 HP. He cannot cross back in this state. Needs to get a sandwich here from his Heavy, and they're going to pop Uber aggressively. They want to pick off whoever they can. They get Marty, they get Exile. Now they can keep going with a Scout, see what they can find, but that Uber was just to make space for their meds back out, and they couldn't get the force, so despite those kills, that's a good push from the side of the Fog, but that time is not favorable for them at all.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like if Fish had just gone for the telly in the beginning and spawn camped Space Ghost like Demento did to Mujet, they might have capped that in about a minute or so. Because once SGC got back, he just didn't die for the next 2 minutes or so, and that such an impediment to them, finding anything on this point. And Again, having the telly shortens everyone's spawns by like 10 seconds.
Space Ghost catches Mujet off on that standing on top of the rock angle, and we do see now with this advantage, they're going to look to walk forward for KD. They are getting pressured a bit by Marty, Supreme Toad on this right side wall, so they're going to get some heals and back up. I hear a banner coming out that is from Etney inside tunnel, so KD, they're going to be ready to go down and contest that whenever they need to. Here comes the banner. They're going to walk forward, and they get a free kill onto Supreme Toad, and they get the Uber, though. Fish forces that one, I think, with his presence, but Toy hasn't had to pop quite yet. They're going to try to sack in. They want to find Toy. Demento is in the backline revolving him, but no damage onto the mech so far. Demento going down, and that's going to be a good hold there from Toy.
I think Rain just bombed into his own team with K&D Super. He was behind and jumped over it to make it up to safety. One of the very weird, but SGC holding on the top of hill now. Again, this is that forward hold
oh my God.
K&D that has given me so many nightmares in our scrims.
Exile over the top, he does get caught.
So early,
He does get caught. They're going to try and get the sentry gun, but Scratch moving that gun up means the entire Uber gets wasted, taking down a level 2 sentry gun out of position. So with that, now Blake up on 70% advantage. Mujet going to have a good pick there, opening things up onto Space Ghost. Exile now free to walk up as he pleases.
Yeah, but again, Blake on 80%. If they don't force them back here, and Blake will be forced to cross over the corner there, which is big for them if they have to give up this ground.
Look at Honesty and Etney. They're in the tunnel here. Tunnel squad. See if they can contest the tunnel. He jumps in. Carson going to get taken down, as will Supreme Toad. This tunnel squad is putting a lot of pressure onto the cart. They can't push forward anymore. Looks like a lot of players are going to get sent to deal with them in the tunnel. Both are still alive, though. Right now, Honesty and Etney doing tons of work in the back lines.
Yeah, Honesty heavy.
Etney solo banners out.
Here. Oh, Melon didn't see Honesty. There was a free kill.
Out.
He finds Mujet off the cliff! And they're going to Uber back in here. They stalled for so much time. They're able to build that Uber, get it, re-push back in, and Mujet's not able to do anything because he got assassinated by Honesty from underneath.
So much credit to Honesty and Etney there. Staying alive for that long means your team can get that Uber, pop out as much as they want, and they're able to take back control right here. But Toy does have full Uber, so we're going to see the Fog try and take this space just right back. Exile walking forward with Ether right behind him. There is no sniper staring them down quite yet. Space Ghost's going to have to get out of dodge, and now Exile gets bumped forward into the sentry gun, gets out alive, but they still haven't popped Uber quite yet. They're trying to get the cart as much forward as they can. The K&D now 50%. They have the gun here. Headshot onto Jarrett, needs to back up.
Yeah, they're playing this corner now, though, and Rain and Ether combining to find 3. SGC's going to take out Mujet, but it's not going to be enough. Those kills will get second capped, but that's... Was 6:23 the time game be set, or am I misremembering?
They set like a 540 on their offense.
Okay, alright. 5:43, I'm off, but... Yeah, longer through 2 than K&D was through 4. Once again, as I said, really glad I predicted K&D 2-0 here.
Yeah, and that's and that same urgency we saw in the first half just hasn't been there. Demento gets his revenge on Fish there in the counter-espionage matchup, and we do see right now trying to take catwalk space is the Fog, but they get shredded. Rain takes down, or Etney takes down Rain. Mujet gets stabbed by Demento, and although they get Jarrett, the health is just too bad for the Fog to make anything out of it. They're gonna get cleaned up here. Kills for Zuki, Space Ghost, Honesty all getting a pick, and with that, Candy gonna hold strong here. Toy, though, still with the Uber.
Alright, you want to hear my small sample size analysis?
Sure, I love those.
The Fog is looking like a team that is very, very good at snowballing. Which is like, yeah, they're really,
but they can't break stalemates, is what you're saying.
Exactly, yeah. You give them an inch, they'll take you a mile, but they're very bad at taking that initial inch.
Yeah, but Rain gonna go down again, no banner.
Maybe lines up with what we heard about them being so good in scrims. Where maybe if teams aren't playing as seriously, maybe trying new things that may be, more vulnerable to losing.
Counter Uber out here. Gets Zuki in 2 pipes. Zuki misses those reflect. That's pretty uncharacteristic. As now we see numbers advantage for the Fog finally. They're going to try and take some space here with Mujet winning that SVS. They should be able to walk up, but there is a banner here for Etney once again.
Honestly, playing a Kelly, I love heavies going this aggressive, and your demo men's playing where the heavy does. It's so pressuring here. So
because you can't hit that heavy without peeking a huge angle, and there's Demento taking down that enemy sniper, and now there is more space for Candy to work with here. Honesty and Jarrett are gonna get some damage down, get heals from their medic, as now Honesty rotates back into Bucket, and we see the cart gets up to that second to last bend. They're trying to push up as much as they can. Remember, very bad time here so far through 2 for the Fog. They need to get this capped sooner or later, because their time is gonna be unwinnable.
Carson should get it up the second ramp here, which is, at least a small victory for them. They get set on fire, and the spam's going to start coming in right about now. Yep, Carson surfs out to safety. So, up the second one, but yeah, they need that inch, right? we saw what happened in the first half, where they're able to roll them, you know, almost from first right to last, which you almost never see on Upward as the Uber comes out aggressively.
Zuki Uber.
Toy gonna pop, you know, in defense there on offense. They have the better Uber. Zuki popped up. Uber's faded. He's so low, will go down. Last chip shot from Supreme Toad gonna take him out, but Edney's still on Catwalk. Low on Rockets though, free kill for Rain, meaning that the frags are finally going in the Fog's favor right there. Jared though finds Exile and wins that MGE fight.
Yeah, an offensive banner now finally out. It looks like we just see Rain switch over to that one, and that's something that Fog probably need here.
Toad sneaking, creeping up through
Demento saw him, so they're going to know he's there. And then, yeah, he has to get out of dodge to keep his life. That banner from Rain gets him a little bit of space, but not too much. Demento's knife gets melted, but he will be able to live. Space Ghost is posted up doing a lot. His Fish gets caught in the side house and gets force unnatured down by Blank. You don't see that weapon too much in Highlander, but with that, Demento with his life going to take down Exile with a revolver, and they are going ham. Jarrett, 2 big kills onto the combo members of the Fog. Toy even going down in that one. So now, like, full Uber ad. Candy looking dominable on this third hole.
Yeah, you might be thinking, oh, Candy's aggressive push out there, you know, didn't work so well. And it didn't, but they were able to hold on, and now Toy doesn't have Uber, so when they do it again, even though they don't have Uber, they're able to catch him out this time. Which
the thing about the Candy aggressive holds is what you're doing is you're putting a lot of pressure onto the enemy offense, and when there's a lot of pressure on a team, like on an offense, they make a lot more mistakes. They don't, you know, cross their I's, dot their fucking I's, cross their T's, whatever. They don't get everything they need to in order. When that happens, they just lose players. They get picked off everywhere they can. Fish again gets caught out inside house. There's no coordination coming forward because they're not getting allowed to stage their push.
Yeah, and again, it's really just that. It's so something. There's Toy again. Yeah, they keep defaulting to the area right outside of the second house, and you can't do that against a team that's playing this aggressive. You need to turtle up in the house where, you know, you have like 3 choke, I mean 4 if you count the lower stairs, but anyone who pushes through there is ballsier than I am, you know. So like you hold up, you build Uber, and then you go. Like it feels like
Fish
you're
looking for it, and he gets Jarrett. That's a big pick.
That's a big kill. Gun goes down too. Exile able to snipe that out, but Space and Ether, or Space and Jacob, excuse me, pick off too. Exile and Ether, 2 of your big damage classes. They will find
Toy's dead again. It's a heavy.
Yeah. Where is Honesty?
He went down right after to Rain, but getting that medic pick is crazy. And now the solo engineer, he's alone. Carson doesn't have a chance there, gets taken down. And Candy not letting you stage as an offense is one of the things that makes them so hard to deal with on Upward. They're so good at playing forward and just taking away all your options. And like you said, like you mentioned, I'm gonna roll with this theory now, right? A new team together like the Fog, they can't take that first inch against a team like K&D who's been doing this for years.
Yeah, and that time where you go to stage, like, you know, right outside of the second house, you need to be close to Uber to do that. Because if you don't have the option of popping back in when they walk forward, you're just sitting down, so you have no height advantage, you have no vision, you have no spam angles, they can just walk all over you. Now, granted, we saw what happened when both teams had Uber, right? It actually turned out in favor of the Fog, as Toy 1v1ing Jacob in-house, gonna lose that. Goes down again, I think that's 4 deaths in a row without even really hitting 80%.
Yeah, they do trade back, and they get the cap.
And they got the cap, so
yeah. Silver linings here for the Fog. They kill the Med, they got the cap. It's 12 minutes through 3. It's not looking good.
Yeah, like you gotta just give it up and sit in house, build, and run a sack. Like fundamental TF2 here, right? You know, yes, it's great to be aggressive. Yes, it's great when you can successfully like cheat a dry push, but that failed twice in a row. Why are you trying it a 3rd time?
Fish needs to kill Space Ghost. He's posted up on these crates right here. Space Ghost has Turtle Beaches, and you might hear this. Zuki actually lights him with a flare. That is amazing awareness by the Candy Pyro to stop that, and Space Ghost gets out of dodge alive. Blank as well.
He got the pack. Zuki knew what he was going for and lit him up right after.
That's great game sense. Yeah, that is great game sense. And Blank picking off Moojet means that Space Ghost is free to turret up here. Fish again gonna try the dispenser block. This time is good. Fish cannot get up into bats. You see Toy now up on 100% Uber. If you're the Fog here, you need to make this push work as fast as possible if you don't want to be going 0-2 into the night. And they're going to push from underneath. Actually, that's pretty unorthodox. Don't even want to take tiles. They're going to get this gun in just a second if they can get one more rocket onto it. Rain not targeting it. He's going to get killed. Okay, gun will go down and a lot of kills. Rain does a lot of damage up top. Going to get one more pick onto Jarrett. Good play there by that Fog soldier. And now Cart being stacked by the Fog here. K&D, they have Blake, they have Uber, but that's pretty much it. Etney going to jump out and get some help here from this solo Uber. Get the mini, but K&D needs some spawners. They need some space.
Zuki was reflecting rockets shot from under at the dispenser block from the gun. I don't think I've ever seen a Pyro actually use air blast at that range before, but it kept the dispenser block up, made sure that Fish couldn't do anything, and Etney, yeah, gonna come in, clear out some of these Fog players. Toy taking down in main. The mini sentry means nothing to Blank, and what looked like a pretty solid cap means that the Soldier Med Uber is gonna end up being enough to defend this point.
Yeah, they just stalled long enough. Etney used the remaining part of that Uber to actually go underneath, which was very smart. He was set up perfectly in tiles to deny the cart pushes at the very end. Remember, on upward offense last, if you don't have control of tiles, then you're just going to get rained down on from all angles. You're being looked on by 3 different high grounds. It's just so hard to do anything in that position, and with that, Toy goes down. They don't have Uber. The Fog not going to be able to cap this one. I think this one goes over 15 minutes, if they get it at all.
Wouldn't be surprised. We may be seeing a high score come in here.
High score I've ever seen on upward was like 17-14. I've seen that long.
Yeah, I think I've seen longer times in Borneo and Swiftwater, I think.
Yeah, and K&D honestly is farming kills right now. Space Ghost gets an easy double. Demento cleans up Mujet. I'm pretty sure Demento's killed Mujet 20 times in this match so far. Spawn camped him with a revolver. There's just not much you can do on the side of the Fog right now. You need to just build this Uber, hope you can make a one-shot push work, because the time it's bad. It's really bad.
Yeah. Do you see the stickies that Jared has on drop down? Or like the soldier jump up from lower? That's BM. Blanco was just cratered going down there. I don't know how he got knocked out, but
Uber out
gonna
through
come
lower
out
tiles here.
directly onto the card. Mujet finds Zuki, so no Pyro here, which I guess isn't the best pick you could have gotten. Jared gonna get hit up a little bit. Fish finds SGC. He finally got in upper. Ether was there with him, and they do enough to get the gun down. Scratchy's still alive though, but Blank finds Toy. This Uber coming out through main.
Mujet, though, unchained, no sniper against him, means he rolls off 2 headshots onto upper, and he's still standing here, trying to find what he can. Etney going up top, doing some damage, but gets taken down. There's Mujet killing Jarrett. Will go down to Demento, but now Demento is the only one who can stop this cart. Revolving down to Fist Head, he butter knife him, he takes extra damage from that one, and he's gonna go down. So now, cart lastly gonna get stacked up here by the Fog. They have players jumping in. This should be it. They should be getting the capture if they can keep the scout alive, and looks like that's the case. And that's gonna go over the top. 16:09. Very close to a high score. Probably going to be a high score for the season.
Not very often you see 2 square numbers in a cap time.
Yeah, 16 minutes. It's very, very rare for a 16-minute upward offense time.
Yeah. Yeah, that is... It's one of the highest I've seen without seeing overtimes come in at least 1 point. So... Mujet's really going to need to pop off here for the first hard hold.
Are we writing the eulogy? Rest in peace, the Fog's chance at first seed, because this is unfortunate. They're not going to... Okay, we have to remain, hopeful as casters here, right? The Fog can still do this. They just need to defend for 16 minutes. There's no world that happens, let's be honest.
They need to keep Mujet alive and defend first for 5.5 minutes.
That's true. That's very true.
I think that's far more likely than them holding 16.
If you are... to put it... To kind of elaborate on what Alto's saying here... Every point on payload, if you're not aware, has its own timer, where if you don't cap that point within that timer, the round just ends without, the full time even expiring. That time on first is around, what'd you say, 5.5 minutes?
I believe it's 5.5, yeah.
If Fog can hard hold first here for 5.5 minutes, that's probably the best chance of winning. That's what we're going to be looking for them to do.
Yep, 5.5, yeah. Which means 11 minutes go wasted. 10.5, but... I mean, there's nothing like the Swiftwater Classic where you get, hard held on last and then just hard hold them on second right back.
Yeah, we'll see if the Fog can do it. You mentioned if they're rolling, then they do have that potential to pop off. So, like you said, we'll have to see Mujet getting some kills. Space Ghost, he could shut him down pretty early though. As Mujet's on fire, he's gonna get killed. And here's the sack over the top. Jarrett landing some stickies down onto Playground. They get Carson, they get the Dispenser, and they get the Sentry Gun and Supreme Toad. Space Ghost honestly gonna drop to that one, but they get all the kills they need for K&D. That Engineer is a crucial one. And Demento, obviously, he's going back to spawn for that teleporter.
Yeah, the right play.
Yep, so now with 4 players dead, they don't have a teleporter to get back in time. Demento's for sure going to mess with them. Candy, they're going to go. They have players out of spawn. They're going to pop Uber.
Yeah, and granted, right, Toy and Melody...
Demento finds Demo Pick. There's not enough people watching for him. He gets a sniper and he gets out alive, and now Uber comes in.
It's happening again. Zag, Mushin's getting stabbed. but they did a good job popping Jared up in that Uber, not able to get too much of this, but Exile caught out, didn't notice the stickies behind him, goes down, and they're going to have to give up first, and with that, probably their best chance of winning this round.
Yeah, very impressive push from Candy. We know they've been doing this. Their sack gets everything they need. Demento gets the teleporter. He camps Mujet when he gets back to the front lines. It's just phenomenal for Candy. They're looking so strong on Upward here. And now they're already on top of the hill for second.
Looks eerily like the first half.
Space Ghost versus Mujet about to pop off, but Space Ghost will back up. That's pretty smart. You don't necessarily want to lose the SPS here. As Demento, he gets caught, tries to go for that sniper. Don't think he had enough cloak left to get him all the way there. So with that, we're going to see the Fog try to push back, take some space here. Exile is being tanked up by a beam in just a second, so we'll have to see if they can get that space back without a Jared here yet.
Yeah, I mean, they're moving into the hill hold, which is good for them, but
no.
Exile walks up too far forward, gets flanked out by Etney.
What a fadeaway from Etney on Fish there. Etney on the 4 rocket launcher, not that black box. He makes full use of all 4 rockets there, getting 3 kills. So now the sentry gun, Demento is going to sap that one and take down Carson. Candy going to be rolling through second here once they get people onto that cart. Blank is now times 2ing it. We just see Rain up top in the B house over here. If he can find a pick, but Zuki going to sniff him out, take him down.
Yeah,
he's actually going to get out to his team.
Too. He will get out, but loses the ground. Jacob, though, going to find Ether in the back.
He gets 2, he gets Mujet 2.
Ether must have been guarding Mujet and still got
Yeah, he
stabbed,
didn't pay attention to the spy. That is so sad.
Because when I think of Ether, right, I think, like, primarily Sixes player with very good DM. And Jacob
doesn't know what a spy is?
Giving him the HL welcome about now. Like, yeah, there's a little bit more to worry about here than just DM and midi sentries.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the most I've ever seen a scout get backstabbed in a payload map. Pretty sure he has 3 backstabs onto Ether at this point.
You didn't see me play card spy in main.
I'm pretty sure I don't want to. But with that, Blake now on 70%. Toy going to be about even with that. Demento tries to go forward, gets hit a bit, but he does make it into bucket right now. He gets caught, actually. He's going to get taken down in just a second. But Jarrett taking advantage of that and walks forward and picks off Exile. Ither as well going to die, but that sentry gun kills those sackers. Fish, knife him open on cart, gets killed. Can't find the pick he wants. Both meds up on Uber, but the cart is just up to this first bend, so the fight's going to happen in just a second.
Crazy how K&D didn't just default to the staging area. They sat back, got buffs, ran out to the staging area.
There's no way you let Demento stab Mujet. Mujet! He's got the turtle beaches and the flicks on him. Gets a bit of revenge there for the entire match.
Yeah, it's too little too late though, unfortunately, as the Uber's going to come right out of house here. Toy hasn't used yet, drops Melon.
Oh, Melon needs to get Ubered there. Toy did a bad job doing that. You gotta pop Uber on Melon.
Hold on to this Uber, I guess, but they're not gaining anything. They're losing card time. Blank's already got it up the second hill. They could have stopped this. Now they're gonna panic use here. I've heard these. I know exactly what they're calming right now. Guys, we gotta get out. They're capping. They're getting it up the third hill. And then they delay their Uber too long, drop someone, get like 1 kill on the Uber, and now they're just gonna get forced out again.
Yeah, they do have enough players alive to kind of walk back out here, but the corner damage is being too much. We see Exile has to back up, get some heals. He's half HP waiting for an arrow. Jarrett spams out bucket. The Candy about to get some players in there. Now we see corner spam from the Demo Man. Zuki is here. Cart, Melon gonna go out on Cart by herself and gets taken down. They need to get out here if you are the Fog, but they're gonna lose more players. Gun gonna be focused on just a second. With that, Etney gets the solo cap onto 4th. Blake keeps his life crucially with that 70% Uber. And with that, Kane, you get that point. 11-11 to cap the last one. You think they can do it?
11-11, try 940. Yeah. But they've gotten rolled so fast after a long time that they've effectively deleted a minute off the clock.
That's the strategy. You can essentially get a free minute on payload defense by doing that.
Yeah, all you younger players just simply cap in 16 minutes and then get rolled.
Yeah, then you let them defend for 15 minutes.
It's a maximum efficiency. Don't do that.
Mujet got revenge on Space Ghost. Space Ghost was doming him just now. It's not often the offense sniper gets to dominate the defensive sniper.
I don't think this round counts.
Yeah, you think we're avoiding this one?
The stats, at least. I mean.
Alright, here's the crucial thing. Does the dispenser block work? Alright, Carson fixed it. Demento wasn't able to get through. But he calls for the soldier to destroy it. That's really funny. They should know Demento's coming out. They do aim a rocket at him, but Demento actually jumps. Okay. They all are spy checking for him. That is so funny. Every single player heard that dispenser gun, they're like, where's Demento? Find him.
Yeah, don't let him do it again, because this 10-minute miracle hold is definitely not going to happen. if Jacob gets a 4K and up.
Also not going to happen if they lose their sniper to the SVS, and now Uber is in aggressively. They get exiled, they get the sentry gun. There's a solo heavy Uber out in main. Normally you want that to be on your demo man, but without a demo man, they just have to get whatever they can. Jarrett and Scratchy are dead, but Blake actually gets picked up by Ether. There's not enough players though for the Fog. They are 3 up. Cart being stacked now by K&D. Heavy in the spawn door. What's he going to do? Melon air blast back, but has to back up to spawn. Ether dies, Etney dies, but with the cart being stacked now, it's only the engineer. We see Carson jumps out of main, gets some damage, but no kills. Mujet dead once again to Demento, and now with 4 people alive, last second desperation for the Fog.
Heavy at the spawn door. Who will he shoot? As
No, Scratchy.
He shall be sacrificed. And Melon playing in the corner.
Right click.
Oh, getting.
It's a scout fish.
Yeah, you gotta hit the people other than the scout.
Yeah, the scout is a double jump.
About 7 minutes, which might have been enough to win if you took that time plus the first half offense, but fortunately halves don't really work like that, so...
A 2-0 for K&D.
Yeah, just like I predicted.
And to put what we were saying earlier, like at the top of the show into context, when we said that people have been telling us that Fog have been doing really good in scrims, one of those people is actually Zukima, the K&D Pyro, who told us that they had a hard time taking rounds off of the Fog at all. And we just saw...
Did he con us?
Maybe he just baited us into casting him 2 weeks in a row.
Did he just tank his own stock price so he could short sell himself?
He says he's getting Taco Bell, so maybe.
Oh man. Dude, he's using the stonks he just picked up off of negging our cast to go get a gordita.
It's a crunchy gordita, whatever. But yeah, that's a very, very clean for K&D. Logs up, I believe these are combined. Are they? Probably not, actually, because that was just a really long round. Yeah, those aren't combined. Jarrett, 500 DPM, 30 kills. What a performance from Jarrett tonight. Everyone did well, though, on K&D. Space Ghost pulling out the 26 and 13. Space Ghost greater than Mujet. You heard it here.
Only got to defend.
They only got to play upward defense for 16 minutes.
And only outfragged him by 5 and outdamaged him by 21 DPM.
Blank consistent as always, 26 and 10, 300 DPM on Scout. I'm pretty sure I've not seen a Scout get 300 DPM more consistently in Highlander every round.
I wonder how this match would have turned out on Koth, because I feel like that inability to snowball is a much less of an issue on Koth, where all it takes is, say, Ether winning one flank fight, and suddenly you get a little bit of ground,
getting unleashed for a bit longer.
As opposed to Ether getting stabbed on cart over and over again at really bad times.
Yeah, and in the chat right now, we do see Zukima. He's saying that this team is way better than that. Based on what he said about the scrims, Fog definitely are a formidable force, but they just didn't have it tonight. And even if you're very good in scrims, there's always a thing in esports. You're a scrim player, you're a scrim team, you can't translate it to the stage. There's no stage here, it's a fictional stage, but you got to bring your best to match tonight, and if you don't, then you don't get the match points. And not getting a single match point here is going to hurt the Fog quite a bit, because if they either lose to 4,500 or they drop around to 4,500, they basically have 0 chance at a top 2 seed.
Yeah, they got to hope that K&D or 4,500 just happen to throw to one of the teams, which we've seen plenty of the past couple of seasons, by the way.
Yeah, the week 7 steal throw.
Yee taking that game off MCM, Migos taking one off of MCM. Did it happen to anyone other than MCM?
Maybe. I'll have to go back in the archives for that one. But yeah, that's going to about wrap us up tonight. It's a very interesting match. We did see some good things out of the Fog. That first round was a lot closer than the 2-0 would signify. Some mistakes happened, some things didn't go Fog's way, but in the end, K&D's the superior team on the night, and they get a very, very crucial 2-0. Keep in mind, last week, the 4-3 means they got minimum match points, so they're going to very much appreciate the 9 match points from tonight, especially against a big competition.
That being said, if they don't drop really more than a round or two the rest of the season, they can pretty much secure their own destiny with first seed.
If you're K&D, you have the 2 hardest matches theoretically out of the way, so with that, you have 15 match points. That's not a bad start.
Right, yeah, we're multiplying everything by 3 this season. I'm like, 15?
Yeah,
so
there's
5 weeks in?
So there's no weird decimals. I don't know why we didn't change that earlier.
Yeah, no, it makes
Nothing
sense.
was weirder than a team outplacing one by 0.01 on match points.
Yeah, when they had the exact same records or whatever.
That was weird.
I think Rebel suggested that. Shout out to Rebel.
Yeah, that's gonna about do us for tonight, Alto. Any last words?
I would like to see the Fog play better in the future, which sounds really forehead when I say it out loud, but like Zuki said in chat that he doesn't, felt like they were playing Skeleton and that they're better than that. And I agree. I think that I don't know if it's just they're still new as a team or Upward's just not their map or what, but I think this season will be a lot more entertaining if we have 3 teams at the top instead of 2.
Yep, we do have a small score update here. Yi 2-0 over Somebody Help. Run It Back 2-0 over Relax. One match still going on. 4500 versus Froggy. That's interesting that 4500 dropped the round to Froggyland. We do know Froggyland was a promising team last season. I think that's the team with DC on it with who was it? I forget at the top of my head, but yeah, they're taking a round, and they might even take the match. So if you guys are still wanting some TFT, you can go watch someone streaming that. I'm sure somebody is, but that's gonna about do it for us here tonight.
Give you a slight correction. Last season, Froggyland was in Advanced, and I roster rode them to a first place Advanced medal.
Was that the season before that?
Yeah, you were thinking of the season before that, where they had that was the season where they had likely were going to make playoffs and then lost to Yi on product and kind of threw that away. So good to see them back, and if they're able to take that game off of 4500, then I think that really
shakes things up.
What that does is it moves it from a top 3 to like a 2 through 4 type of contesting, where 4500 happens to lose that, then I feel like Candy's all but got locked, all but has first seed locked up. We're just getting word in that 4500 lost.
Wow.
Froggyland takes that 2-1, 8 seconds left on the clock in that third half. So
Invite's getting interesting.
Yep, wrong match this week, apparently, Zach.
Yeah, we got it wrong, but sometimes you just get it wrong, we can blame Zuki for telling us this was going to be a good one.
Yeah, that's always what happens. Zuki gets blamed, so...
Yeah, last thing, you can type !merch in the chat to check out all of RGL's merchandise. We got shirts, we got posters. The designs rotate seasonally. We're going to be having these designs for a couple more months until RGL lands. If you want to take a look at these designs, again, !merch in chat. Check out the RGL shop. If you like any designs, you can purchase them. All the proceeds go to the hardworking RGL team, including the graphics department and our favorite dolphin on camera. So again, you can check those out. And thank you for supporting TF2.
Yep, and with that will do it for us. So, I am Alto, Zag by my side, Duffel behind the camera. As always, some hearts in chat. So, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next week with some more Highlander action.